One of the best ways to reprogram our mind, right, is through first detaching. We must radically detach from all programming, from all the belief systems, from all the things that we were made to believe that were ours, that we wanted for ourselves. Because look at it this way: if we've been programmed, so have our parents, so have our parents' parents. So it's been generations of programming, generations of programming, of programming and programming, where no one is questioning anything, whether that is to be true for them. Some of the older generations, they went off by, this is what we do, this is how things are done, right? And so with so much information being provided to us now, with things being revealed that we cannot overlook anymore, with certain ways of being not working for us anymore, the one thing we do have control over is ourselves. And so, because the times now are different, where we have freedom to choose, freedom to make decisions for ourselves and not be judged for them, right? And so in my journey, I needed to detach from all the titles, from all the programming, from all the belief systems. The reason being that for me personally, they were like fraudulent in a sense. They were not adding up to anything beneficial for me. Scriptures were manipulated in such a way that it hindered me more than the healing I was getting from them, right? And so I come from a background of a lot of betrayals, a lot of pain, a lot of abuse. And so I needed to find something that worked for me. And what worked for me was detaching from the programming, detaching from the titles, seeking forgiveness, not to affect others, but to heal myself. I healed by forgiving others and by forgiving myself. And the way that I did that was by one, detaching from the programming, detaching from the titles, so detaching from society norms, detaching from religion, detaching from belief systems that didn't work, detaching from what society says you should be or where you should be, meaning what the clothes you wear, the car you drive, the house you live in. For me, those things are important. However, they don't define me. I can be stripped off of it all, and I have, and I still maintain my dignity because at my core, I know who I am. I know where I stand. I know that I have not given up my moral compass to gain anything. Right? And so, because I've kept my moral compass and I chose to follow God who resides inside of me, so I just want to make it very clear: God has nothing to do with religion. God resides inside of us. God has a lot to do with our moral compass, though. When we give up our moral compass, we're basically giving up on God, the spark of God that resides inside of us. So, that's a whole nother topic. However, I was able to find forgiveness for others and for myself through identifying the spirits that were operating through people. And then the other thing that works along with that is understanding that the all is mental, meaning your subconscious has to be clear. And in order to clear the subconscious, you have to be able to forgive. Because if you don't, you won't be able to truly move forward. And this earthly reality, we are not this vessel. We are the flame that is inside of us, the light that is inside of us. And in another video, I was sharing that, the things that we pick up in society, the things that we undergo, the darkness that we go through, because we're not just going to say, oh my God, love and light, we're loving light, we're loving light. No, we have to go through darkness in order to appreciate the light. And that darkness, we have to purify it, alchemize it, gain the experience out of it, gain the lesson out of it, transmute it, and pass it on to the light. What we cannot do is become the darkness. Meaning, like, I'll give you an example. You have a whole background of people who just ended up in jail, and so now you think that the cool thing to do is to be in jail because that's what you've seen all your life, right? That's not how it works. That's not how it should be. You are not what other people do. You are not even sometimes what you yourself do, because sometimes we're operating through these spirits that we don't know that they're working through us. And even if we do know, we have been so consumed by them that we think that this is just what we do. Because I took on the concept that we are here in this vessel, this physical vessel that we are to take care of, right? And we're not this vessel. We are to take care of it. The reason being that in order to hear from God, our vessel needs to be pure. And when I say pure, I don't mean like you are like the most innocent person in the world where you just don't do anything wrong. We do some things wrong sometimes. And usually to get to that point, we have had to undergo certain experience, a lot of experiences, which we're not so proud of. But the point is to rise above them, overcome them, gain the lesson out of them, heal, and still turn to God who resides inside of you. And you get to doing that by choosing yourself. Because when you choose yourself, you choose God. And I don't mean it in a selfish way, like I'm choosing myself, I'm just going to do what I want and have no care about anybody else, and I'm just going to hurt people because that's my free will. We have free will. You can do whatever you want. You can choose to do whatever you want. Just know that your heart must be as light as a feather in order for you to ascend to another realm, right? And in order for you to connect with God, who is your moral compass, you have to have a moral compass in order to do that inside of you. You don't need a middleman for that. You just need to heal. And so with so much being uprooted, right? So much being revealed, us being able to come to the understanding that things are not what they look like, it's more diabolical than it seems. The time is now to turn our attention inward and choose to heal, choose to overcome, choose to address those wounds that keep us stuck. And the way to do that is by clearing out the subconscious, clearing out the mind, because the mind is all. And so the first step is forgiveness. And we can forgive anything and anyone by identifying the spirits that were operating through them and choosing to forgive the person, for they know not what they do, as these spirits are operating through them. At the level that they're operating through them, that's not our problem. We just need to choose to forgive at our core, like really, really forgive, and choosing to not give any energy to that spirit, because the only way that that spirit continues to live through these people is by us feeding them. And they feed off our energy, our emotions, energy in motion. I'll be back with